he was best friends with, I guess, the 9-year-old, Colin.
They still are. Just not at school because they see each other outside of school. And you wouldn't see a brother and two brothers hanging out all the time in school and outside of school. You wouldn't see two kids that see each other outside of school sitting there up, hanging out with each other in school like they did before either. They both go opposite directions. They're sitting on opposite ends of the rooms in all their classrooms, so they don't get any contact with each other. When they go outside, Aiden sits down, and recently, at the beginning of the year, it wasn't like that. The lady in the IEP meeting on Friday, they stated that as of November, December area to now, he has increased on his antisocialness. So he sits there and doesn't like people come up and ask him to play, and he won't play with them. And that was something that was not really an issue before. They had dropped all this stuff in his IEP at the end of last year, during his IEP meeting, because he was doing so much better and he was doing so good at the beginning of this year, and then dropped. But you wouldn't expect two kids that play outside of school to sit there and be right up underneath each other at school as well. They also have other friends to play with. They're not arguing. They're not fighting at school. They're not arguing. They're not fighting at the house. I have photos and stuff of them actually hanging out and having fun at the house.
So the teachers didn't discuss with you that Aiden now, since Colin's gone, they're not friends anymore, doesn't have any friends?
The teachers did. The teachers and little Colin has actually stated their concern with the fact of Aiden's recent anti-socialism.
So you say that's recent?
Is recently started over the past few months, because they took that off his IEP at the end of last year and everything, because he was doing so good, making friends, chit-chatting like he was just one of the other guys, like he didn't have atypical autism.
Okay, well, thank you.
Redirect, brother.
School?
Yes.
And is he still counseling at school?
I don't know. They took over that. I made him whenever his school therapist was no longer going to be at the school, I made him an appointment at Centerstone for a therapist to substitute that until they got another one for school. And Harry Lynn actually canceled that appointment and rescheduled another one, and then never took him to it.
At some point, did you cancel his counseling at school?
She asked if he wanted, at the end of the summer, she said, do you want to start Aiden's therapy back up? I asked Aiden, I said, do you want to talk to Miss Nash this year once a week, or do you want to see how it goes? He said, I'd like to see how it goes. So I told her, and I have text messages where I told her Aiden wants to see how it goes, and then but can we add it if he needs it or anything, if he starts falling down at school again or socially? And she said yes. So, and I can produce the text messages for that as well. And then I also have messages where I asked her to start therapy back up again for him as well this past year.
You recognize this?
I do. He has been getting, that's the reason why I didn't want him on the bus anymore. And Terry wanted to fight for him to stay on the bus. She said it was a good social thing for him, but every time he's getting off the bus saying he doesn't want to get on the bus, he doesn't want to ride the bus anymore, saying that kids are beating on him, beating him up.
Hold on 1 second.
And there's actually a report from school where these kids did beat him up.
Hold on 1 second. Is this a text message between you and the school therapist counselor?
The judge's questions reveal an effort to isolate facts that can actually influence a parenting decision while filtering out assumptions and speculation. This is where many self-represented litigants struggle.
I'm not sure whose number that is. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't memorize numbers, but it looks like something.
Do you remember?
This is, and then the next text message to me, which they neglected to actually add that in, is me saying, telling her that I sent her the email already about starting it up. But that they decided, they just coincidentally decided to cut that one off of this photo of my response to her about me already sending her an email about starting it back up and asking to start it back up in that text message as well.
Your Honor, I don't need to enter that.
We'll hand that back. You may. Ms. Smith, anything further? Thank you, Ms. Page. You may stand down. We're going to give you an opportunity when you're putting on your presumed testifying, if you would. It may make more sense for you to go ahead and do it though while you're here and under oath. Do you want to testify about any part of this proceeding today other than what you've already said?
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know exactly what that means.
Well, what that means is that you understand I'm here today to put down a parenting plan that's going to determine who is the primary residential parent for your son and what arrangements you each have as far as the split of time between you and Mr. Boyd, the father. So this is your opportunity as your lawyer. If you had a lawyer, they would put you on the stand to ask you questions that they felt like would demonstrate to the court why you know, whatever it is that you want me to do. So I guess what do you want me to do regarding your son?
I do not want to take custody away from father at all. Like in 2022, for his 6th birthday, he asked for mom and dad to get back together. So he asked me, begged me for it. And because he would never got to see his dad and like to see his dad. So I did that, even though I knew I wasn't gonna be happy doing it. I did it anyways. And then around October, November of this year, it was actually November 13th of this past year, he was making plans and for a month before that. And then at that day specifically, we were walking and he was making plans with all kinds of people on how he was gonna build him and mom a house so that dad could just go live with his Chi-Chi and mom and dad could be separated and him and mom would go live somewhere else and dad could like come and visit sometimes if he wanted to and all this. Like even Aiden was concerned about the relationship and the dynamic between his father and how his father was absent even though he was there and everything and how his father treated, asking why dad hurts me at night and stuff. And also I have things that show where they're talking about me doing legal drugs that are legal, marijuana and CBDs and stuff for sleep and everything. I have videos and I have things of Dylan actually doing mushrooms and saying the reason why he couldn't watch Aiden when one night a month was because he was too busy trying to get high.
So are you wanting to introduce, what exactly is it you're referring to? Are those photographs, text messages?
These are photographs of text messages that I have 2 copies of for each.
Then you need to hand that to the bailiff. He's going to show Ms. McGill what you have and Ms. Smith. Allow them to review that, and then I'll consider whether or not to make those an exhibit. If I understood you correctly, when you were testifying about those text messages between you and this individual that's been referred to as your drug dealer, that individual, you're buying, according to you, from Mr. Tanner, legal THC products?
Yes, and with this report, they had police raid his house, and the police couldn't even arrest him because all of it was legal.
When did the raid occur?
I believe end of January, beginning of February. I don't know the exact date. I'm not
Why
sure
do
the
you
date.
say they had the police raided?
Because the police that stayed there was showing him the reports from text messages that they sent in to the police from my phone.
Right.
The police
And-
officers told him that.
And the reason that you're saying that you are using, why are you using these drugs to begin with, legal or illegal?
I have ADHD and sometimes I can't go to sleep. Like I got things going on in my head, like thinking about everything I'm gonna do the next day and all the stuff that I have to get done, like homework that needs to be done, schoolwork work that needs to be done, dogs that need to be groomed. And so it's either the doctors wanted to prescribe me sleep meds. I did take the trial of the sleep meds, but I was almost like it was a drug that completely impaired you. Like I was almost like I was drunk and I don't drink. So I was not okay with that. And I've been drunk once when I was a teenager and that was it. That was all for me. I was done. And so this medicine making it feel the same way, I wasn't for it. And then I had issues waking up the next morning as well with it. It was grogginess, oversleeping my alarm and stuff. So this just helps me go to sleep like a little. Was actually recommended to me by the doctor.
The doctor,
I'm a primary care doctor in
And who is
Centerville,
your-
recommended that I try CBDs.
what is the name of your primary care doctor?
She's no longer my primary care doctor. She doesn't work there anymore, but it was at St. Thomas in Centerville.
You don't remember the name of the doctor that told you?
This
to do
was probably 9 years ago that she recommended that.
All right. Next question I have for you is my understanding is
The legal landscape shifts once the discussion moves toward personal conduct and supporting documents. Instead of accepting broad accusations at face value, the court immediately starts testing foundation, relevance, and admissibility. That difference is enormous. A claim may sound persuasive outside a courtroom, but inside one, it survives only if it fits the rules of evidence.
and these are the documents you want to introduce, correct? You indicated that, and I want to make clear, if I'm understanding correctly, you are involved in a relationship with this other couple, this man and this woman, and it is a relationship. The three of you are living together do you sleep in the same bedroom, the three of you?
Yes, which is,
And right or wrong, whether I agree or disagree with that, but is your son aware of that relationship?
just as where he was with his cousin, with his aunt, when his sister Taya lived with us, she was also in a throuple. She had a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and that was not an issue then. He knew all about it. She'd tell stories about it and everything when he was 6 years old. And all he knows about this is that mom has a boyfriend and mom has a girlfriend. He sees them, he plays with them, they go to the park together, he enjoys time spent there. That's all he knows. He doesn't know any details or anything because he is a 9-year-old boy.
You had these two text message photos that you wanted to introduce. One is from April 19th. It doesn't show what year. Can you tell me what year this was?
It'll show a different year if it wasn't in the past 12 months. So it was,
But what
it
are you
would have been
saying?
2025.
What are you saying that these documents represent?
They're starting to say that I was using drugs and everything, and that Dylan wasn't, and that shows representation that Dylan was the reason why Dylan couldn't watch his son for one night a month was because he was too busy trying to get high.
Right.
And this was just this past year.
So this is between you and Dylan? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because it basically says that when are you coming home? Hi, I'm not sure yet. Aunt Karen and Mona go back to New Jersey. We're supposed to go see them today. And his response was, okay, let's do this afternoon because me and Hammy, who is Hammy?
His best friend.
Me and Hammy are about to microdose some mushrooms from Marley's. So by that time, I'll be sobered up enough to go visit. And you said, never mind, like I said, I will just go. I'm not going to go there at 10 o'clock at night the day before Easter. Then the next one is in May. And what does this one on May show?
It's showing where he was supposed to be, for months, we had a plan for us to go to a little girly concert with my best friend. And he, for like 3-4 months, had already been planned. And he agreed to watch Aiden that night. And he lived in the same household with him. But then he never wasn't at the house. He was with his friend doing drugs instead.
All right, and this one starts on May 22nd at 9:20 p.m. And it says, why are you not going home? You have the responsibility of Aiden one night in months. We had planned for 3 months, Dylan. Why couldn't you have just hung with Hammy tomorrow after work instead of the one day I relied on you? Your response was, his response was, I just wanted to get high real quick. We're about to go. Then on Friday, May 23rd, the next day, you said there was weed at the house, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. About when will you be off? And I need you to let me know like an hour or so before you get off so I can go to get Connor's ducks from Dixon and your mail from your mom's before I get you from work. Okay. He says, okay, baby, I'll look once I finish this area. I love you. All right. And you want to make those an exhibit. Mark them as exhibit. Elected next in order. You may, but we're going to let her finish what she has to say, then you can cross-examine her. Because she's putting on her proof at this point in time. Anything else that you want me to consider in your case?
Dylan's admitting to his abuse and stress that he was given through text message, talking about how,
Do you have more text message photos you wish to introduce? They need to be shown to the bailiff, and the bailiff needs to show them to the opposing counsel.
all go together in order.
If you have others that you intend to introduce, let's just show them all collectively, and then they can review them before we introduce them.
There's this one where he left me in 37-degree weather in a parking lot at Dollar General for hours.
Just show them to them, and then we'll let you explain what they are.
Oh, this goes to the end of that other one, the first one, so I'm so sorry. I dropped it. And photo of my back after he forced middle of the night while our son was 3 feet away. And photos. And proof right here on Miss Smith's account saying that about the ghosts and about being evicted. This is the person that we lived in the house with at the time. His name's Derek Whedon. I was in a relationship with him for like 3 years while we were separated, and he was with another lady named Summer. And showing where she was saying that Aiden saw ghosts because I said that ghosts were going to attack him because we were getting evicted. And this is proof that that never happened and that there was no sign for 4 years of no sign of any abuse towards Aiden, well, with witnesses. And that's an ex who you would normally think wouldn't have your back, but is willing to say the truth. Here, photos of Aiden playing and happy and smiling with us and playing with the kid that apparently he's not friends with, when they just sit there and play Roblox together and play outside and make forts together. And
All right, I'm going to take a recess and step off. Anything that
would you like me to
have,
give you the second
just
copy
wait
of all
till I'm
those?
talking, and you just stop talking when I'm talking.
The judge repeatedly redirects the presentation because efficiency and fairness depend on an orderly process, not on whoever speaks the longest. That frustration isn't personal, it's institutional. Every interruption slows the hearing and risks confusing the record.
Anything that you have that you intend to introduce in this hearing in the way of a document, you need to just show it to them so that we can speed up this process. And you don't have to explain to me what it is, but you just need to, you can step off the witness stand, go to the table, show them these documents so that when we come back, we can streamline this process. We'll stand at recess for, I guess, about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back.
All right.
That was a text message. They didn't bring somebody in to testify that that was.
But those were text messages involving you, and it included statements that you were making.
These are
But what the problem with the last document that I sustained an objection to is that you were seeking to introduce what he says by making self-serving statements of your own. You're saying, you're asking him questions about this ghost situation and in any of that.
Well, I would just want to know, because they said that in her report, she has as fact that I was evicted, but she has no proof or anything. So that's technically hearsay from Terry Lynn, but it was able to be sustained in court. And that's why I'm curious about
A
it.
report is not evidence. It's simply a report by the guardian ad litem assigned to it. And you need to understand, well, I'm willing to try to give you some guidance. You're on your own. You've had the opportunity to hire a lawyer. You have not been quiet. You have not done so. And as a result of that, you're bound by the same rules of evidence that the other side is bound by. So if you have an objection to any of their others, you should make it. If you don't, then we need to go forward. What else you want to hear? What else you want to produce?
I had to provide a lawyer for myself. I didn't have my mom paying for it like he did, and I had to find a job because I wasn't allowed to have a job while I married
I
him.
don't need you to explain anything. I'm simply stating you've been given an opportunity to hire counsel. You're not entitled to appointed counsel, and as a result of that, all right. So here we have a statement or a text message that is from Dylan, and this is from Dylan to you.
It's from Dylan to me.
All right. That would be admissible because it's a statement of a party opponent, and it's on November the 7th, November the 9th. What is it you're asking? Why is this relevant? This is the one where it says, what do I need to do because I'm about to freeze to death?
That is where he left me for hours in a parking lot at Dollar General in 37-degree weather to go hang out at his mom's house and to do things at his mom's.
Okay. I'll mark that as the next. We'll make these a collective. Any that I will allow that one. This is another message from Dylan to you, April 19th. What does this one show? Why is it relevant? Well, this is the same one that you had talked about earlier, where it says that Mr. Boyd was talking about him and Hammy were about to microdose some mushrooms from Marley's and go. I don't think we've made that an exhibit. Did we make that an exhibit?
And this is where this one is. Yes.
I'm going to make these a collective. These would be admissible.
This is one where I am basically begging him to just be a dad or a part of the family, and he's telling me I should, and where after he had tried to throw me to the ground, and he's saying that I should just have him arrested and all this, and then me basically begging him why it's got to be that way just to get anything done. Those are all separate.
When was this series of text messages?
Was in September 16th.
What does this show in this series that you feel like is relevant?
This is where they're talking about that I've been the one showing abuse and neglect and stuff throughout it, and this is him admitting to the fact that he was actually doing that, and that he was admitting to not being there as a parent or as a spouse, and also throwing me to the ground, trying to throw me to the ground, physically.
I'll allow those to be exhibited. We're making a collective exhibit, so I'm not actually,
Which one
it's
was
going to be
that?
collective
All
exhibit
three of
10.
them? So the one is where they're saying Aiden doesn't smile, and that's what we get out of Aiden all the time, and how Colin and Aiden don't hang out, and that's what they're like all the time. They right up each other's butts almost all the time. And then the other one is a photo of my back after Dylan once at one of the times he forced on me while 3 feet away from our son. That's the reason why our son would ask why he hurt me at night.
All right, I'm going to take this set of text message photos and make them a collective exhibit 10. Is that what you said? Then the next documents you're asking are 2 photos, one of 2 boys laying on a couch.
Yeah, they're laying on the bed, shit hanging out, very annoyed that mom came to take a photo and bother them, but that's them all the time. They're either
Yes.
playing Roblox, outside playing, building forts, playing up on the trampoline.
All right, this is the one I'm talking about. This
That's
is,
the kids that they say don't get along and can't play and play together.
we will mark
that's
that as
them.
exhibit 12, 11. And then you had another photograph of a child.
Smiling. They say Aiden doesn't smile anymore, but this is what we get all the time. This
And
is
this is
Aiden all the
Aiden?
time. Yes, sir. Aiden all the time.
Mark
Big old
this.
happy smile.
We'll mark this as a part of the collective exhibit 11.
A noticeable turning point appears when the court begins distinguishing between evidence that can legally come in and evidence that cannot. Instead of treating every document equally, the judge carefully separates statements that qualify under the rules from those that remain self-serving or unsupported.
And then this other photograph is of,
It's my back after Dylan on me while 3 feet away from our son, as he did multiple times, especially closer to the end of our relationship this
how
past
did
year.
the red marks on the back?
From his arm.
We'll mark this as exhibit 12. Can you keep up? All right. Anything else that you want to?
No, sir.
So that concludes all of the exhibits. Is there anything else you want to say before we allow the other side to cross-examine you again? So,
I'd like to also correct the thing, because I said it was I don't know if somebody heard me say that it was a 2-bedroom house we lived in, but it's technically a 4-bedroom house and have another room put to it also. I don't know if maybe I didn't know if that got put in as it's a 2-bedroom house, but it is a 4-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms.
all right. But currently, are they all 4 being used as bedrooms?
One of them is going to be used as Aiden's bedroom. It is not being used as a bedroom right now because Aiden has not been cleared to stay there, but it will be used as Aiden's bedroom completely.
Miguel, you wish to ask any additional questions based on her testimony up to this point?
Are there 2 rooms being used as bedrooms right now?
There are 3 rooms out of
Right
4
now, are there 2
3
rooms?
rooms being used as bedrooms right now out of 4 bedrooms.
Okay, so you're in the master. The Armstead's children are where?
Colin is in Colin's room. Bella is in her own room. And Lillian will be in Bella's room. She is in a crib right now.
Where had Aiden stayed?
Aiden will have the 4th room.
Okay. And has he stayed overnight there in the past?
He has had 2 sleepovers before this whole thing even started with Colin, with little Colin.
Not since you've moved, so since
No,
you've moved
since
into
I've
the
been in
house,
there,
he's
he has
not.
not slept over there.
Okay. Back to your exhibit 10. There's a text message between you and Mr. Boyd where he says that he's going to microdose some mushrooms, correct? Mm-hmm. And he says that he got from Marley's.
Yes.
What's Marley's?
It could be a person or it could be a shop. I'm not sure.
There's a vape shop named Marley's, correct?
A vape shop, yes, but that doesn't have anything to do with mushrooms.
Okay. Do you know anybody named Marley?
I mean, I know a few people named Marley, actually.
Okay.
We actually went to school with 2 Marleys.
Okay. And so is that someone that, so when he said Marley's, did you know what he was talking about?
Not instantly, no. Marley's is a vape shop where you go get vape stuff and like other things like that. You don't go there and get mushrooms.
Okay.
Mushrooms aren't a thing you go and get at the store.
That's my question, John.
Ms. Smith, anything? Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. You not you have a short witness, Ms. McGill? I assume you're. That's fine. All right. What's her name?
Did we start
You'll
today
come
with
right up here,
exhibit
please,
one?
ma'am. I'm not worried about that. Raise your right hand, be placed under oath.
Ms. Cottrell, could you state your whole name for the court?
Terry Lynn Cottrell.
Okay, Cottrell, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And how are you related to Mr. Boyd?
I am his mother.
And Aiden's paternal grandmother then, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you, currently are Aiden and Mr. Boyd living with you?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about your house. How many bedrooms does it have?
It has 4 bedrooms,
Okay.
2.5 baths, and we are currently converting our garage, which is 25 by 25, into a apartment with another bathroom.
Who all lives in the house besides you, Mr. Boyd, and Aiden?
A husband.
Okay, and what's his?
Jeremy David Cottrell.
Okay. And is that here in Dixon?
It's in Burns.
Burns,
Yes.
okay. And how long have you lived there?
Since 2020.
Okay. Tell me about how involved you've been with Aiden since his birth. I mean, just quickly.
Well, as much as I could be as a grandmother when he was a baby, and then
How often did you see him when he was a baby?
often
Once a week, once a month?
weekends,
Okay.
because I worked professionally Monday through Friday.
Okay, what do you do for a living?
I was an executive manager over physician practices for 11 years for St. Thomas.
Okay, and what do you do now?
I now own a spa.
Okay.
And I've done that since 2015.
Okay, and so you saw him pretty much every weekend?
I wouldn't say it would be every weekend, but as often as I could on weekends.
Okay. Over the past, let's say more recently, say last 2 years, how often have you seen Aiden?
Very often.
Okay,
Spent the night with me in vacation, like when they're out of school for break. He would spend days with us. We have a pool. He would come over, swim, had birthday parties at our house. He lived with me.
how long have Mr. Boyd and Aiden been living with you?
They officially moved in Thanksgiving Day.
Okay, prior to that, where were they living?
They were back and forth. They had the opportunity to live at our house, but majority at a small camper on Catherine's mother's property.
Okay, so their maternal mother's property, there was a camper on it that they were living in?
A 200 square foot light pull behind camper.
Okay, how often were you seeing Aiden when they were living there?
On weekends, if they wanted him to spend the night, or we would ask for him.
Okay.
I would say the normal, I don't know how to quantify it, but a normal grandparent visit and spend the night.
Okay. Have you been involved, in the past 2 years, have you been involved in any of Aiden's,
The hearing changes direction once the grandmother takes the stand, because the focus moves away from conflict and toward long-term stability. Courts often pay close attention to witnesses who can describe consistent involvement without appearing emotionally invested in winning the dispute.
physician's appointments?
Yes.
Okay. And tell us about that. Do you go to every appointment or?
No, I've supplemented in the past, and here recently I've been more involved.
Okay.
Almost every appointment. I always assist just because when Aiden was first diagnosed, and I'm going into something, so stop me if it's too much. He lived with us for a year, his first grade year. And during that time, I was solely responsible for him Monday through Friday in his schooling and his education. And
What grade is he in now?
he is in 3rd grade.
So in first grade, for that whole school year, he lived with you?
After the first 12 weeks, he came to us. He came to us in truancy. So I had to navigate from Davidson County to Burns immediately so that the truancy wouldn't kind of counterbalance his schooling. So they took him quickly in.
Okay.
And he immediately moved in with me.
Was Mr. Boyd living with you?
No, they were trying, this was an opportunity for them to get ahead, to buy a home
Okay.
in Burns.
Okay. And so they all, by agreement, Aiden was living with you
Yes.
and Mr. Boyd and Miss Page were living somewhere else.
They had, yes, we put them as a residence and we had space for them to live with us. It just wasn't chosen for them to do that.
So first grade, obviously, if he was living with you, you were very involved with his school, his teachers and that sort of thing?
I was fully involved.
Okay. And did Aiden do well that year?
It was the most exemplary year he had.
Okay. Okay. And then last year, So for second grade, he was back with his parents living in the camper mainly?
Yes,
Okay. And then now since November, he's been back with you?
yes,
Okay. And you said that you've gone to the doctor's appointments. Are you still in contact with his teachers
yes,
and school staff?
yes.
Okay. What have you noticed? Well, let me start with this. Has Aiden ever told you that his mother physically?
Yes, on multiple occasions.
Okay. What has he told you that he's done to you? To her? Or him, I'm sorry.
Once, well, I was notified by his second grade teacher that she had called the police. So that led me to ask him questions. And he told me that there was an incident with an iPad where his iPad was broken. And he ran out to his Uncle Hunter because he was really afraid that when his mom woke up and she saw that his iPad was broken, that she would retaliate. And he came in to ask her questions, and she drug Aiden out and had him say that it was him that he broke the iPad. And he said, I was very confused because I don't remember breaking the iPad. I woke up to the iPad being broken, but I don't remember any of that. And he said, after that, Mom said, get back into the camper.
Okay,
We're
but
gonna
let's
talk.
focus on, did he tell you that she hit him or pushed him
Well,
or beat him?
this is the start. So he said, as soon as they got into the camper, she picked him up and threw him onto the couch and started to yell. And she said, that's what happens when you tell people things about me.
Okay.
And then Dylan came in, and she comes behind him, and she is just saying, how could you humiliate me? All the parents know, all the teachers know. I don't care if I didn't give you your medication. And you can't use ADHD as an excuse. You should have better control over yourself. And whether you had your medication or not, that is not any excuse for you to act the way you did today. And he said, but I didn't have my medication and I couldn't help it. And she said, yes, you can, because you purposely humiliated me. You did this intentionally.
Did you see her take him into the bathroom?
You can't see the bathroom because it's an ensuite of the master bedroom.
Okay, so you didn't see that?
No,
Okay.
did not.
When Aiden came to live with you in November, did he bring an iPad with him?
He did.
Did you go onto that iPad and look through it to see what was on it?
I did when it was presented to me for what was on it. Yes.
Could we pass forward exhibit, is it 1, the child's backside?
This section demonstrates how educational history quietly becomes one of the strongest indicators in a parenting case. School performance, attendance, medical appointments, and communication with teachers create an independent record that exists outside either parent's version of events. That is why these topics receive so much attention. They offer the court evidence that is often more objective than personal testimony. The strategy here is clear. Connect periods of stability with measurable improvements instead of asking the judge to simply believe one parent's opinion. Whether that connection ultimately succeeds depends on the full record, but the legal approach is much stronger than relying on emotional claims alone. Family courts consistently look for predictable environments, and this testimony is designed to frame consistency itself as the child's greatest advantage rather than focusing only on past disagreements between the adults. The emotional temperature rises sharply here, but the legal challenge becomes even more difficult. Statements involving alleged misconduct can influence a custody decision only if the court believes they are supported by reliable evidence rather than assumption or repetition. Judges understand that children sometimes describe stressful situations imperfectly, which is why they examine surrounding circumstances just as carefully as the statements themselves. The testimony is no longer just about what allegedly happened. It is about whether those claims reveal an ongoing parenting concern significant enough to affect the child's welfare. That distinction matters because family court is not designed to punish parents for every past conflict. Its primary responsibility is identifying future risk, protecting the child's well-being, and determining which environment offers the greatest emotional and developmental stability going forward. The final moments of this segment signal that the hearing is entering a more evidence-driven phase, where testimony alone may no longer carry the same influence. Once physical exhibits become the focus, the courtroom shifts from competing narratives to verifiable material that can either reinforce or undermine previous claims. That transition is significant because it limits the role of speculation and places greater importance on documentation that survives legal scrutiny. The judge's approach throughout this hearing shows a consistent pattern of narrowing broad accusations into specific, reviewable facts before assigning them any weight. That disciplined process often determines the outcome of contested custody disputes. The strongest case is rarely the most dramatic one. It is the one supported by organized evidence that remains consistent from the first witness to the final exhibit.